Okay, attention. Before we open the event today, I hope all participants open their cameras. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the opening ceremony of the Model International Conference.
Model International Conference is an academic simulation of the United Nations where students play the role of delegates from different countries and attempt to solve real-world issues with the policies and perspective of their assigned country. Model International Conference is organized by English Public Speaking Club from Darul Quran Mulia Boarding School.
This event, starting from today, 4th January 2022, precisely, starting at 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., by raising the topic that is SOSUM, Human Rights Abuses and Violations Against Ethnic and Religious Minority. UNEP, the impact of pollution on the depletion of natural resources. UNESCO, preservation of cultural heritage through education. During the opening ceremony, I would like to remind you to currently open your camera and mute your audio.
Okay, now we are going to say hello to all delegates. So, hello delegates from England, please raise your hand.
Hello, England.
Okay, I want to see our best smile delegates from USA, please raise your hand.
And also, please raise your hand, delegates from Australia. And also hello to all delegates that we can't mention your country one by one, but we do really hope that you will always be in good condition, stay safe, and good luck for this conference. It is also such an honor for me to be here today and lead this prestigious conference.
The first conference that is held by the English Public Speaking Club was attended by more than 40 delegates representing 20 countries around the world and connected to 3 councils.
Wow, that's a huge number for this first virtual conference.
Yes, that's amazing, right? I can feel your excitement for the conference. And so, before the beginning of the whole session of the opening ceremony, let me introduce myself as a master of ceremony today. Hello everyone, my name is Naila Azara Adrian with my partner.
And hello, my name is Sania Gibran.
And it's a great honor that we was chosen to be the master of ceremony for such an extraordinary event today. This is a new experience for us and a memory that we will probably always remember. And also we will use as a lesson for the future. Thank you for the trust of the committee for us, and we hope all participants will have a good experience in the conference.
And we will accompany you to the opening ceremony of the Model International Conference. First of all, let's thank to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has given us His mercies and blessings so we can attend this program without any problem. Secondly, may salawat and salam always be presented to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has guided us from the darkness to the lightness, from the bad character to the good one, as we hold today.
Honorable Coordinator of Extracurricular Activities, Ustadz Lutfi Adnan Muzamil, MPD.
Honorable Supervisor of the Model International Conference, Dr. Rernat Catur Sri Herwanto. Thank you so much for joining us today. And here are the series of activities of the opening ceremony of the MIC.
First, opening by MC. Second, reciting the Holy Quran. Third, speech from coordinator of extracurricular. Fourth, speech from supervisor. Fifth, speech from chief executive of men. Sixth, speech from chief executive of women. And seven, MIC 101.
To begin the first agenda, let's open MIC with Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
And the second agenda is reciting the Holy Quran by Farhan Muhammad Rizki. To Farhan Muhammad Rizki, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله نور السماوات والأرض. مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح. المصباح في زجاجة. الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء كذلك ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس والله بكل شيء عليم في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال صدق الله العظيم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for Farhan Muhammad Rizki for reciting the Holy Quran. Hopefully, our event will be blessed. For the next agenda is the speech from the coordinator of extracurricular of Model International Conference, Ustadz Lutfi Adnan Muzamil MPD. To Ustadz Lutfi Adnan Muzamil MPD, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for Master of Ceremony. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Have my voice listened by your all?
Yes, Ustaz. Yes, Ustaz.
Okay. Praise be to Allah who has given us many blessings and opportunity. Salawat and greeting we send to the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Honorable to Dr. Catur Sri Haryanto as teacher of English, public English, and honorable to my children all. This opportunity is very, very big to us. Yeah. And then important to your student. Yeah. Okay. I will tell you all, yeah, is leadership important? Do you think leadership skill can shape something or act in it? A study showed that most leaders are formed, not just for your brain. This proves that character and skill ability very big role in one leadership. If not training early on, you cannot become a reliable leader in the future. Therefore, leadership training in educational institutions such as school or university is very important to do. Training leadership is more effective starting from childhood, especially during school days. There are three main benefits of leadership program for children. Namely, number one, forming skill and character from leadership. And number two, learning to organize. And number three, build confidence. Leadership clearly on will foster confidence. The student will never to lead if they never held responsibility. Therefore, the leadership training in school will train culture and confidence is leading. The more often they lead, the more accustomed there will be the being in control. This will in their confidence to be a reliability leader in the future. You will see a significant difference between a trained leader and one who has not. Leaders who are used to leading will be more confident, can deal with problems more wisely, and offer more comfortable working in a team, and to be able to competitive in the world level. It is also needed skill speaking in English. We need skill speaking in English. The conclusion is no train public speaking in English and leading skill at the international level by being able to convey idea related to what problem is very important to do, so that the younger generation will now be able to become a future leader who will have the capacity of problem solving at the world level. So I think enough for me in this opportunity. If you all take mistake for me, please forgive me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Ustadz Lutfi Adnan Muzammil MPD for the speech. The fourth agenda is the speech from the supervisor of Model International Conference, Dr. Rernat Catur Sri Herwanto. To Ustadz Catur Sri Herwanto, the floor is yours.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to give a few words regarding this conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All praise be to Allah, and may peace and blessing be upon our Messenger Muhammad. So, first of all, I would like to thank you very much to Ustadz Lutfi for his inspiring speech and for his support regarding organizing this conference. And I would like also to thank you to all of the organizers, because you have done everything much more than expected, which is very excellent. Okay, I remember in the meeting, I think a few days or a few weeks ago, I emphasized and I repeated through private telegram message to the chief organizer chief, that you should keep it as simple as possible, because I don't want to make a problem, to you, because this is a vacation, and I know most of you, if not all of you, want to enjoy vacations. So I don't want to give a problem or too much burden to all of you. So that's why I say to you, just keep it simple, okay? Keep everything simple so that it doesn't take much of your time, much of your energy, okay? But it is beyond expectation that you have done much more than expected. You have done excellently. You have tried your best to work hard in order to make it as excellent as possible, which is, for me, it is a blessing from Allah. And I would like to say thank you to you. When I was in the senior high school, at the same age like you, I believe I couldn't have make it better than you. So you have done very well, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you and bless you for this hard effort in order to make this conference successful. That's the first thing. The second thing is, as I said before, this conference is an opportunity for you, for all of you, especially those of you which may have a minimal experience in the previous semesters regarding the organization experience or public speaking experience. So this is probably the last chance for you, especially the 12th grade, in order to increase your experience, improve your experience in organizations, in organizing international events, or the so-called international events, and an opportunity for you to improve your portfolio, your CVs, okay, your achievement, so that hopefully it will contribute to make the probability of you applying this foreign scholarship more successful than before. So again, I don't want to make my speech longer. So I'd like again to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making this conference possible. And I'm also want to say thank you to Ustad Lutfi and all of you, both the organizer and participants, for making this conference successful. May Allah reward you all. So that's one I want to say. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Ustaz Catur Sri Herwanto for the speech. And we move to the fifth agenda. It's the speech from Chief Executive of Model International Conference, Umar Abdul Aziz Susilo Rahmat Wibowo. To Umar Abdul Aziz Susilo Rahmat Wibowo, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Coordinator of Extracurricular Activity, Ustadz Lutfi Adnan Muzammil, MPD. The Honorable Supervisor of Model International Conference, Dr. Bernard Catur Sri Herwanto, and also the committees, chairs, and delegates that I am proud of. May all of us always be guided by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. First of all, thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who always give help, blessing, and salvation for all of us. Because of Him, we can be here without trouble at all. Secondly, salawat and salam for our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who always gives goodness in the world. And lastly, thank you to all of you for being here today at this wonderful event. My name is Umar Abdul Aziz Susilo Rahmat Wibowo. It is such an honor for me to speak as the male chief executive, and I would like to give you a warm welcome to the Model International Conference. Before I begin, I would like to express my gratitude to the Committee of Model International Conference for their hard work over the past few days. You all are amazing. I couldn't have done it without all of you. And a big thank you to all the delegates who have shown their enthusiasm to join Model International Conference. Because of you all, the first conference held by this English-speaking club could be attended by more than 40 delegates representing 20 countries around the world and divided into 3 councils, namely UNEP, UNESCO, and SOSCO. As the MC previously stated, Model International Conference is an academic simulation of the United Nations in which students take on the role of delegates from different countries and try to solve real-world problems with the policies and perspective of the assigned countries. So, by saying your enthusiasm for participating in this event, I can already see the great potential in all of you because you are brave enough to be here. I hope that through this event, we all can learn to be good speakers and have the ability to critically address a problem. I will not take too much of your time, so I will hand it over to our MC to proceed to the next agenda. Once again, welcome and thank you very much for attending this event. Good luck to all the participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.
Thank you to Umar Abdul Aziz Susilo Rahmat Wibowo for the speech. Next agenda is the speech from Chief Executive of Women of Model International Conference, Alia Zahrani Zuhdan. To Alia Zahrani Zuhdan, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Am I audible? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Coordinator of Extracurricular Activity, Mr. Lutfi Adnan Muzamil, MPD, the Honorable Supervisor of Model International Conference, Dr. Rerna Chaturusri Herwanto, the Honorable Chairs, Committee, Judges, and all the audience and incredible delegates. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Thank Allah who has given us His mercy and blessing so we can attend this conference in our best condition. May salawat and salam always be given to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before I begin, my name is Alia Zahrani Zuhdan as the Chief Executive of Women for the Model International Conference. First, it is utmost pleasure for me to welcome you all to the Model International Conference. This conference is a big opportunity for you to practice your speaking, level up your confidence, critical thinking, and knowledge. Because in this era, we need to have all the skills to compete internationally. And I would like to thank you very much to all the committee who have done their best preparing for this conference, and also for all the judges and master of ceremony who has taken their time and their work very well. And last but not least, thank you very much to all delegates who have shown their excitement for the MIC. We have more than 40 participants as delegates. I was very happy, I was very grateful that the Model International Conference is warmly welcomed. Thank you very much. It was the right decision for you all to join this conference. It is not just about competition and winning an award. It was the best way for you to start your step in public speaking and communication career. Maybe after this, you can join the real international conference with an international audience. To know. And besides, joining this conference will open up your knowledge about the global issues that are actually very important, but maybe you don't realize yet. The world needs our thought to be a better place. So I highly encourage you to be confident to express your idea and argument during the conference, and don't feel shy to refute the other delegates. I would like to give a quote from Mary McLeod Bethany. We have a powerful potential in our youth, and we must have the courage to change all ideas and practices so that we may direct their power towards good ends. So everybody, just go for it. Good luck for all the delegates. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Alia Zahrani Zuhdan for the speech. For the next event, MIC 101, we hand it over to Ulaya Fairuz and Yusuf Fatah. And the floor is yours. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Today, good morning, everyone. I would like to tell you a brief explanation about Model International Conference 101. Okay, first, I want to ask, what is MIC? So, Model International Conference is a simulation of the UN Committee proceedings. MIC participants play the role of diplomats in global committees representing the interests and policies of a member state. Slide. So, what is the meaning of the position paper and the closure paper? The position paper is a document about the country's stance towards the topic, made and sent before the day of the conference. Conclusion paper is a formal document as a result of discussion and have the list of solutions that have been discussed by all delegates. The flow of the debate contains roll call and the second general speaker list, then moderate caucus and voting procedure. The roll call is the part where the chair checks the delegate's attendance. Then the delegate must say present and voting to present in the conference. In the general speaker list, first, speaks generally and have no specific topics. Second, you can reaffirm your stance and solutions. The third, usually you have 3 minutes to talk. If there is remaining time, you could yield to the other delegates, the chair, and comments by the other delegates. In the general speaker list, you must tell your country's stance briefly, tell the background issue briefly, and tell your solution briefly. And you must not repetitive to another delegate, speak too long and speak too specific. Move to another slide. In moderate caucus, the first is contains subtopic, total time, and each speaker time. The second, the moderate caucus is to make the debate more organized on the specific subtopic or motion. The third, usually you have 35 minutes in each session. In moderate caucus, there is motion. The motion should simple and easy to be understand, and everyone can join as speaker. And you have time to giving the speech based on the related motions. You must not jump in agenda, redundant motion, and giving speech not based on the related motion. What you must do in this MIC conference is you wear a formal suit. Always use a formal attire as long as the conference held, and be diplomatic, especially you guys, all delegates. Behave yourself because you are representing your own country. And research is mandatory for preparing the conference. And use third person. Never use I, me, and my, but always use third person like we, the delegate of. Speak up. Don't forget to speak up and always ready in every situation. And you also have to respect the chair. Everything should have been done by chair permission. The other prohibition is you must never wear a casual t-shirt. Never use any t-shirt because it will be disrespect the forum. Don't be late or sleep because it will be impact your image as the delegate. You can never talk without chair permission. Chair will give you the floor, so Never talk without share permission. And the last is don't panic. Even this might be your first time, take it easy and don't forget to have fun. Thank you. I think that is all explanation I can tell you about. Good luck for the conference. Let's say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right, we move to the main agenda is the conference. So please wait, you will join the breakout rooms for the council.
Mas mana? Nyalain.
For UNEP council, we will do the conference in the main room. And for the other delegates in another council, please join the breakout room.
Yeah.
Council breakout room. For those who cannot join the breakout room by their own, please contact me or Olaya Virus to direct you to the breakout room council.
Okay, welcome delegates to the MIC. So today we will start our formal session with full English language. And yeah, before we start our session, please open your camera and prepare yourselves. Inshallah, we will start our session in 3 and 5 minutes. Thank you. Okay, good morning, delegates. Welcome to the MIC Model International Conference. First, before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Akmal Kotsar Zuhdi and my partner Akila Azra. And inshallah, we will be chairing you in this UNEP Council. So enjoy this MIC. Okay, before we start our session, we will start our session with a roll call. So please state if you are present and voting when I call your country name.
Okay, Akmal, you can conduct the roll call now.
Okay, delegates. Now we will start the roll call. Delegates of Australia.
Delegates of Australia present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of Brazil.
Delegates of Brazil is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of China.
Delegate of China is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of Denmark.
The delegate of Denmark is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of Egypt.
Delegate of Egypt is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of Finland.
Delegate of Finland is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of France.
Delegate of France is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of Indonesia.
Delegates of Indonesia is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of Italy.
Delegate of Italy present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of Japan.
Delegate of Japan is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of Russian Federation.
Delegate of Russian Federation is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of Saudi Arabia.
Delegate of Saudi Arabia is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, delegate of United Kingdom or England.
Delegate of the United Kingdom is present and voting.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, delegate of United States.
Delegates of United States present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Next, Delegate of Vietnam.
Delegates of Vietnam present and voting.
Okay, thank you very much, Delegate. And now we will be moving on to the opening speech or general speaker list.
Wait, wait a minute. Is there any delegates who have been called for the roll call?
Oh, yes.
Anyone? You can just unmute your mic or just chat. Okay, delegates of Africa. I'm sorry, please wait a minute. Any other one who have not been called yet in the roll call?
Okay, Akmal, you may continue the session, please.
Yeah, thank you, Akila. Okay, Delegates, we will start the general speaker list. And you have 3 minutes for each delegate to speak in this session. And for the first speaker is from Delegate of Australia. For Delegate of Australia, this time is yours.
Wait. Wait a minute. I want to set up the setting first.
Okay.
It is 3 minutes, right?
Yes.
Sorry, sir, can I share screen? Maybe?
Oh, you want to share screen?
Yes.
Delegates, if you want to share a screen, you would not be able to see the stopwatch. So please keep track of your time.
Okay.
Amal, can you make the delegates of Australia the co-host, please? Or Ulaya, can you make the delegates of Australia co-host? Okay, delegates of Australia, you may start your speech now.
Okay. Are the image, do you look the image? Sorry.
Yes, the image are visible.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
The Honorable of Judge and all of my friends that I will put together. As you can see in the screen, they taken by from National Center for Biotechnology Information. It's showing the PM 2.5 in period 16 March to 1st of May 2020, which is on pandemic of COVID-19 early period. You can see at two sides of Huffington and Footscray in Melbourne, compared to past 4 year, lower by 23% in Huffington and 24 in Footscray. And there is for carbon monoxide level for same comparison decrease by 39% at average. In South Korea, PM 2.5 in the same period reduced by 36. And in the USA, PM 2.5 was also observed decreased by 20.6%. It also impacts the decrease of nitrogen dioxide volume during pandemic and lockdown in Melbourne because of reduce of traffic on vehicles and public transportation. So the conclusion is the COVID-19 pandemic has a positive impact for the air condition and the environment with some decrease of the air pollution such of PM 2.5, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen dioxide. That's all for me. Is there any question? Is there any question? Sorry.
This
Oh,
wants to
no.
of Australia. I'm sorry, delegates. Now the session is GSL, so there's no question answer in the session.
Okay, that's all for me. I'm sorry for all the mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, delegate.
Okay, thank you, Delegate from Australia, for the opening speech. And for the next speaker is from the Delegate of Brazil. For the Delegate of Brazil, this time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Global warming is a topic all over the world. Likewise in Brazil, deforestation is the activity of changing forest areas to be permanently non-forest. For human activities, referring to a study by Brazilian government, the main cause of deforestation is illegal logging and illegal grabbing of forest land. Satellite image showed the square kilometers of Amazon forest land was lost from June 2017 to July 2018. This area is more than half for Jamaica's territory. Compared to the same period a year earlier, deforestation is capped by 13%. Further studies say that deforestation is one of the causes for global warming or the result of 15% of greenhouse gas emissions. The percent is equivalent to the impact of the transportation sector. On the same day, as the launch of the Brazilian deforestation study, the United States government stated that the global possibility was the cause of loss of up to times $1 trillion. As reported by Brazil said illegal logging was the main cause of deforestation in Amazon region. As Brazil grapples with the COVID-19 crisis and rising rates of deforestation, some are fighting back to restore the natural environment while honoring the memory of their lost loved ones. With the support of the Atlantic Forest Biosphere Refresh and the Atlantic Forestation Pact, which includes some of Brazil's most respected restorations. Conservation of Personal Drive on 12 December 2020 to honor their memories to those who have lost their lives to COVID-19 and to thank health workers. The flag is helping restoration efforts across in Brazil. Oh, sorry for the mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Warahmatullahi
Thank you,
wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much for the Delegate of Brazil for the opening speech. And for the next speaker is Delegate from Delegate of China. For Delegate of China, this time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
According to 2018 data, China is the country with the deadliest air pollution. About 1.6 million people died from air pollution that year. It has decreased in 2020 but has increased again in 2021. And the cause is excessive use of coal and steel. Then to solve it is to switch to renewable energy instead of steel or coal, limit industrial output, and minimize consume steel, which mainly occurs in the northern region. I think it's enough for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Delegates of China, for the opening speech. And for the next speaker is Delegate of Denmark. Delegate of Denmark, this time is yours.
Yep. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the chance for giving me this chance. I'm the delegate of Denmark. Would like to discuss about this topic. Denmark really cares about its environmental issues. A green lifestyle has been adopted as much as possible. Denmark is a leading country encouraging the development of renewable energy resources, as well as enforcing regulations that support environmental sustainability. In 2020, the government of Denmark has implemented a very ambitious environmental policy to phase out the use of fossil fuels, as evidenced by the levels of greenhouse gas emission that have decreased by about 20% since the mid-90s. And there's an agreement to target a reduction of 70% by 2030. In addition, Denmark is ranked first in the World Environmental Performance Index, EPI, with a total EPI score of 82.5 out of 100. Denmark is also working on its project, which is to build an artificial island in the North Sea as wind energy center. The island is expected to generate 3 to 10 gigawatts to supply electricity to other European countries. In related to the matter, Denmark has more than 60% of the land is used for agriculture. The agro industry in Denmark has developed many climate solutions to support food production. Residues from food are recycled into biogas to produce renewable energy. What Denmark is doing shows everyone that it is possible to experience consistent economic growth while reducing energy consumption and protecting the environment. But the Earth isn't consist of just Denmark. The Earth is a huge place inhabited by the most exotic of creatures, a place like no other. We need to start realizing that we can't replace this extraordinary planet and start focusing on how we can preserve its sustainability. Denmark has done a quite decent job of maintaining its air condition and would like to engage further communication with other countries supporting the possible solution that already been proven effective, which is replacing fossil fuels with renewable energy. Coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress, and working together is success, said Henry Ford. Denmark would like to contribute to helping the restoration of good air quality worldwide and is desiring to cooperate with developing countries with poor air condition and are still struggling to find a solution, especially with the whole economic problems that appear due to the global pandemic. That's all from me. I apologize for any mistake. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much for the Delegate of Denmark for the opening speech. And next for the next speaker is Delegate of Egypt. Delegate of Egypt, this time is here.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Although Egypt's natural condition is a desert area, Egypt has abundant natural resources, especially in oil and gas production. In addition, Egypt's other natural resources are iron ore, manganese, phosphate, clay, gypsum, asbestos, tin, gold, and zinc. One of the main supporters of Egypt's natural resource is the Nile River. The Nile River has played an important role in the civilization, life, and history of the Egyptian nation since thousands of years ago. One of the contributions of the Nile is its ability to produce fertile soils as a result of sedimentation along its watershed. Natural resource depletion occurs when resources are consumed more rapidly than they are replaced. Natural resources are resources that exist without human action and can be either renewable or non-renewable. And when it comes to the discussion of natural resource depletion, it is the terminology used to refer to water use, agriculture, fossil fuel combustion, fishing, and mining. And most importantly, the depletion of natural resources is defined by the premise that the value of a resource is measured in terms of its availability in nature. One of the causes of the depletion of natural resources in Egypt is the exploding population. Egypt's population is growing by about 2 million per year. This amount is claimed to deplete natural resources. Currently, Egypt has received billions of dollars in aid from the Gulf states in recent years. However, this assistance began to decrease since 2016. Cairo received a loan worth 12 billion US dollar from the International Monetary Fund to support a package of reforms. Maybe this is just for me. Thank you for listening my speech. And sorry for all my mistake. And last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much for the Delegate of Egypt for your speech. And for the next speaker is Delegate of Finland. Delegate of Finland, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh. Air quality in the world is decreasing. Decline is due to increasing air pollution. Many efforts have been made to reduce air pollution, but the air pollution that occurs is unavoidable. It was not that only 24 out of 106 countries met the air quality standard by WHO, and even worse, a study on air pollution in Europe in 2018 started that 8.8 million people died and millions of people were affected by disasters caused by air pollution in Europe. In times of COVID like this, the air pollution everywhere is decreasing. The air becomes more beautiful. It all happened because of the government effort to eliminate the COVID-19 virus. But all this is only temporary post-COVID development. Development will definitely happen on a large scale, and air pollution will pile up again. It takes balancing effort between air pollution and development. But for Finland, this is an easy thing as a very healthy country. Finland is also a country with not a lot So enough to reduce filter development waste, so it can be ascertained that the Finnish country can still be ascertained which is free of pollution. Many innovations have been carried out by the Finnish country, starting from the principle of clean air that are continuously improved and developed until the emission of large industry facilities is super. Even though is it detrimental to the industrial sector, they will also get positive result. There are many ways to reduce pollution, such as in Finland. As a country with the in the best air quality, the Finnish government still continues to plan to reduce the amount of pollution by drastically reduce the number of cars to eliminate pollution. The government also focus on investing in public transportation, increasing parking fees, and providing socialization to the public about reducing car use and using bicycle or public transportation. The Finnish capital Helsinki has been targeted to stopping cars in 2025. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much, Delegate of Finlandia, for your speech. Okay, next, for the next speaker is Delegate of France. Delegate of France, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the time. On the France have much trouble in various fields, and not even one trouble has not been solved. Always appear new trouble, and we must act much trouble in the same time. Any trouble must have different solve way. Virus and pollution, it's different trouble, and we have to think out how to solve, and many way to solve it. Beside us, not only public, but government of France also think a way out to end trouble, and the argument will vote to be served, and the policy will make change to the better future. Maybe just is for me. Thank you for all of my mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Delegate of France, for your opening speech. And for next speaker is Delegate of Indonesia. Delegate of Indonesia, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
In many generations, people are trying to reduce the air pollution. In Indonesia, we have a lot of cases of air pollution. Like this is because of deforestation and gas emission in the country. In Indonesia, we're trying to reduce the air pollution by minimum 26% reduction in greenhouse gas emission by 2020 and 29% in 2030. Indonesian government have made policies to use biofuel and reducing traffic and invite the people to use bus or bio vehicle that not use emission gas. To recover the air pollution, Indonesia have warned the citizen to be aware of the environment issues. The government have remind people by making World Environment Day and poster or movement. Maybe that's all from me. I'm sorry if there's a mistake in my words. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much for Delegate of Indonesia for the speech. And for the next speaker is Delegate of Italy. Delegate of Italy, time is yours.
Ya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
In year 2019, that COVID-19 born and spread out from one country to two countries and then rule the world. Then people cannot go out from their house. Pandemic make all countries in big trouble in terms of environment, economy, health, and other. In 2018, Italy was in emergency of clean air and huge traffic, large metropolitan, domestic heating, industry, and agriculture. That's why Italy in red alert of air pollution. Italy air is currently at moderated PM 3.7. In the beginning of pandemic, where people instructed from Italy government use the health protocol. In short time, a huge traffic and industry reduced. So specifically, pandemic make the traffic and industry reduce making air pollution. Government make some law from industry to have air cleaner system. Smoke industry make the bigger pollution than a traffic. In some at Italy, agriculture make the air pollution stuck in the sky. There because it's some mountain intercept the pollution. Also, Italy government try to increase electric transport, solar powered shuttle, and soap derived from vegetable matter. Also, there is a ground level purification system developed in Italy. Air pollution abatement or APA, which control air quality in industrial sites, workplace, urban space, commercial, and residential areas. Italy acts to some producer air purification system to make more system to clean an air pollution to make a better. Maybe this is just for me. Sorry for my mistake. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Delegate of Italy, for your opening speech. For the next speaker is Delegate of Japan. Delegate of Japan, time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Chair and all delegates present, COVID-19 pandemic is the issue over the world. In December 29, 2021, COVID-19 cases in Japan reached 369 cases. The COVID-19 pandemic has had many consequences, including the air pollution. Being the poorest country in Asia, actually Japan still has problems with air pollution due to the development infrastructure such as energy facility and others including gas emissions. In accordance with the World Health Organization's guidelines, the air quality in Japan is considered moderate and safe. The most recent data indicates the country's annual mean concentration of PM is out, which exceeding the recommended maximum of 10. Air quality in Japan can be affected by heavy burning over commodity contracts and the petrochemical and electricity industries. Available data indicates that Hiroshima, Fukuoka, Osaka, Tokyo, and Okinawa can experience high level of air pollution. These emissions have a negative impact on health and the surrounding environment. In terms of health, it can cause pneumonia disease, Diseases originate from mercury produced by the organic, anthropogenic, biomass, soil, and vegetation. When it evaporates into the air or becomes, this occurs because it is a food that has been contaminated. In the turn, it occurs due to the global warming, damage to marine ecosystem, and others. I think that's all from me. Sorry for mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We thank you very much for the Delegate of Japan for the speech. For the next speaker is Delegate of Russian Federation. Delegate of Russian Federation, time is yours.
Thank you for the time that given to me. Now I want to explain the basis of the pollution problem in Russia. We know that the size of Russia almost twice the size of the United States. Russia is also the world's largest country, and Russia also contains some of the world's most abundant natural resources. Even though it has beautiful natural scenery and orderly city plan, doesn't mean Russia is pollution-free. Russia's industrial sector accounts for 60% of air pollution, 25% of water pollution, and more than 90% of solid waste. According to Greenpeace, the country is now ranked fourth among the world's largest producer of greenhouse gas emission. The main cause of air pollution in Russia is from vehicle emission and industrial waste. In AQR state, Russia is the 86th country had the worst air quality in 2020 of 106 countries. With data on average air quality in Russia is 38 or the meaning is good. Also with data, Russia's cleanest city is Vladivostok and the most polluted city is Kamensk-Sakshinsky. Russia's first environmental problem came from the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. It was because the Soviet Union doesn't care about air health. However, at this time, environmental improvement are priorities. Areas where pollution is caused by vehicle emission are big cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg. But these cities are not the most polluted in Russia. The designation applies to cities found in Siberia and Urals. In this area, the main source pollution is from industry. For example, one of the cities in Siberia is noticed into the list in the top for the worst polluted region in the world. They also classify Norilsk as the most polluted place in Russia. This is because the main source of pollution is Norilsk Nika. Do you know, even snow in some parts northern Russia is not white but black. It is because air pollution from various industries. But Russia has also taken various measures to tackle air pollution, such as encouraging people to use electric vehicles, using natural refrigerant to replace air conditioners, introduction low emission zone, and much more. I think that's all my explanation, and thank you for the attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the Delegate of Russian Federation for the speech. Okay, for the next speaker is Delegate of Saudi Arabia. Delegate of Saudi Arabia, time is yours.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Since the emergency of COVID-19 in 2019, there has been a commotion around the world, especially in Saudi Arabia itself. Since its war declared a pandemic, there have been many positive and negative environmental changes from this event. One of them is the problem of air pollution. Since the 19th century, the problem of air pollution is difficult to deal with. Air pollution is inseparable from environmental change. Environmental change and air pollution disproportionately affect the poor and in case included the old, the elderly, and those with pre-existing condition. In my country, hotels are established from industry, but in fact, mechanical accident is human still occur. Because in my country, Saudi Arabia, there is an increase in traffic and increase in energy utilization. In fact, in Saudi Arabia, air pollution is not too bad. Saudi Arabia is ranked 29 out of 109 most pollution country in the world, with an average AQI of US 74, the most polluted city. The most polluted cities in Saudi Arabia is in 2020 are Dahran, Al-Mintaqo, Asarkia, and the cleanest cities is Riyadh. Logically, why is Riyadh the cleanest city in Saudi Arabia? Even though Riyadh is the capital of Saudi Arabia itself, where government activities are carried out there. It is because of the very good management of the local government. In our country, Saudi Arabia take the initiative to eliminate air pollution by using car air purifier, and air quality monitor. In our country, Saudi Arabia take initiative to eliminate air pollution by using car air purifier. That's all from us. Hopefully, this art can recover and all of us in this forum can provide the best solution in overcoming this air pollution. Thank you for our attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much for the Delegate of Saudi Arabia for the speech. For the next speaker is the Delegate of United Kingdom or England. For the Delegate of United Kingdom is time is yours.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. One component of the environment is air. Every air contains compounds in the form of oxygen gas and carbon dioxide, which are very important for the survival of living things. Unfortunately, almost all big cities in the world have air pollution problems or air pollution caused by factory fumes, vehicle fumes, and household appliances. Air pollution is the presence of certain substances in the air layer that can endanger the health of living things, disturb the beauty and comfort, and damage property. Air pollution that is allowed to continue to get worse not only interferes with general health condition, but can also deplete the ozone layer and cause global warming. With the many negative impacts of air pollution, both in terms of health and the environment, there should be awareness from oneself, the community, and the government to change the situation for the better. However, measures to control air pollution cannot be carried out only once or twice. The UK government emphasizes that improving the health and well-being of UK citizens is more important than ever, given that the world is now focused on tackling the COVID-19 pandemic. A pandemic provides a vivid example of the complex relationship between our environment, social systems, and health. Based on this, it is necessary to take strategic steps from the government to make policies related to environmental issues, especially air pollution. Air pollution in the United Kingdom has long been considered a significant health issue, and it caused numerous other environmental problems, such as damage to buildings, forests, and crops. Many areas, including major cities like London, are found to be significantly and regularly above legal and recommended pollution levels. Air pollution in the UK is a major cause of diseases such as asthma, lung diseases, stroke, cancer, and heart diseases, and is estimated to cause 40,000 premature deaths each year, which is about 8.3% of death, while costing around £40 billion each year. In 2019, toxic air led to the premature death of at least 40,000 people a year in the UK, 9,000 in London, and it leaves hundreds of thousands more suffering serious long-term health problems. I think that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much for the Delegate of United Kingdom for your speech. For the next speaker is the Delegate of United States. For the Delegate of United States, this time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. 50 years ago, United States President John F. Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country." Today, ask not what the world can do for you, but ask what you can do for the world. Thank you for the honorable chairs for giving me this opportunity, and good morning, everyone. Okay, air pollution is the release of pollutants, such as gases, particles, biological molecules, etc., into the air that is harmful to human and the environment. Air pollution refers to any physical, chemical, or biological change in the air It is the contamination of air by harmful gases, dust, and smoke which affects plants, animals, and humans drastically. Emissions of air pollutants continue to play an important role in a number of air quality issues. In 2020, about 68 million tons of pollution were emitted into the atmosphere in the United States. These emissions mostly contribute to the formation of ozone and particles, the deposition of acids, and visibility impairment. These annual emissions estimates are used as one indicator of the effectiveness of our programs. As reported by United States Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, that between 1980 and 2020, gross domestic product increased 173%, vehicle miles traveled increased 85%, energy consumption increased 19%, and US population grew by 46%. During the same time period, total emissions of the six principal air pollutants dropped by 73%. The data also shows that between 1980 and 2019, CO2 emission increased by 11%. The Honorable Chair and distinguished delegates, based on the data above, the delegates of USA want to encourage the other delegates to solve the problem of global warming by build a city forest and do lots of urbanization and stopping the emission of greenhouse gases, because we believe that it is one of the most significant solutions to overcome this issue. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much for the Delegate of United States for the explanation speech. For the next speaker is the Delegate of Vietnam. Delegate of Vietnam, time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment. These harmful materials are called pollutants. Air pollution is contamination of the indoor or outdoor environment by any chemical, physical, or biological agent that modifies the natural characteristic of the atmosphere. Burning coal, microorganism activity, industrial activity, motor vehicles are common sources of air pollution. Air pollution is dangerous. Even air pollution kills someone quickly. Estimated 7 million people dead worldwide every year because of this. Sometimes heart disease and lung cancer are the consequences of air pollution. Carbon gas emission increased faster in Vietnam than any other country in the world in 2019. Air Quality Index data show that Vietnam includes the country who have a low quality of air, and Vietnam is among the top 10 countries affected by air pollution. Among the main causes of this pollution is transportation. Vietnam now has 36 million automobiles and 15.8 million motorbikes, mostly concentrated in big cities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the Delegate of Vietnam for the speech. And for the last speaker, is the Delegate of Africa. For the Delegate of Africa, time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
In this opportunity, we want to discuss the topic about air pollution in Africa, which is the scope of UNEP. Why Africa? Because pollution in Africa is a serious problem that affects people's life. Note this, the global problem that keeps popping up is pollution. According to the World Health Organization, air pollution is the contamination of the indoor or outdoor environment by any chemical, physical, or biological agent that alters the natural characteristic of the atmosphere. This contamination generally occurs due to human activities. A recent study from NASA states that pollution from industrial sources and motor vehicles cause high mortality rates in Nigeria and South Africa, in accordance with the World Health Organization guidelines. The air quality in South Africa is considered moderately unsafe. More than 64,000 people died from household air pollution in the country. Africa is developing an assessment that describes how the continent can achieve key development goals, provide clean air for its people, and assist global fight against climate change and ecosystem degradation. The assessment is led by many companies, and one of them is UNEP. The assessment will inform decision making for sustainable economic and social development in Africa and highlight the solution and significant benefit improving air quality for health, agriculture, environment, and forestry. From the data that has been described, we see is being processed is correct, but it can still be added, such as planting planting trees to absorb carbon dioxide produced by motorized vehicle. Trees will convert carbon dioxide into oxygen that is beneficial to humans and run the car-free day system once or twice a week to reduce pollution from motor vehicles. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much for the last speaker, Delegate of Africa. Okay, Delegate. So in this general speaker list, we get many open views from various delegates, such as the effect of COVID on the traffic pollution and the negative impact of air pollution and solution to reduce air pollution and others. So maybe our chair Akila have a conclusion.
I just want to add something. I appreciate there are many delegates who have provided data for their opinion and tries to find the cause of the problems. And I'm very excited to see what is your perspective from the condition that you're in. And I want to give you some advice. Just don't apologize for your mistake because we all learning here, and you just can say thank you and do not apologize because yeah, you have done you're not done what is that you're not wrong, so don't apologize, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for Legit for this session. And inshallah, we will have 10 minutes break and we will start our session after break. Thank you very much.
Okay, delegates, break time is over. Please come back to your seat. We're going to start the next session. Okay, delegates, you can turn on your camera and mute your audio first. Okay, delegates, I welcome back to Model International Conference. I will start roll call. Please state if you're present and voting when I call your country name. Akmal, do you already set up the country list?
Wait.
The UNEP country list.
It's clear, but the Afghanistan, there is to Afghanistan. I'm sorry, my bad, but the another country is already.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, I will start the roll call. Please state if you're present and voting when I call your country name. Delegates of Australia,
Delegates of Australia present and voting.
Okay, thank you, Delegates of Australia. Delegates of Brazil.
Delegate of Brazil is present and voting.
Thank you, Delegates of China.
Delegate of Delegate of China is present and voting.
Thank you, Delegates of China. Delegates of Denmark.
Delegation of Denmark is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Delegates of Egypt.
Delegate of Egypt is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of England, United Kingdom.
Delegates of the England or the United Kingdom is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Delegates of Finland. Delegates of Finland. Okay, move on. Delegates of France.
Delegate of France is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Indonesia.
Delegate of Finland is present and voting.
Okay, thank you, Delegates of Finland. Delegates of Indonesia. I'm sorry, Delegates of Indonesia, but I can't hear you.
Delegates of Indonesia is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Delegates of Italy.
Delegates of Italy present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Japan.
Delegates of Japan is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Russian Federation.
Delegate of Russian Federation is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Delegates of Saudi Arabia.
Delegates of Saudi Arabia is present and voting.
Delegates of South Africa.
Delegate of South Africa is present and voting.
Thank you. Turkey isn't here, right? Delegates of United States.
Present and vote.
Okay. Delegates of Vietnam.
Delegate of Vietnam present and voting.
Okay, thank you all. Now, before we begin our moderator caucus session, we will vote for the topics that are going to be discussed for the next 35 minutes. I will tell you all the topics first, and you after that you will going to vote for the topics that we are going to be discussed first. The first topic is, in the midst of economic recovery from COVID-19 pandemic, how to balance the development with good air quality. The second topic is, what are the possible innovation in the research and development that can reduce the threats of air pollution crisis. And the third topic is, what initiative should the government adopt to recover the clean air disruptness due to this air pollution crisis. Please raise your hand if you agree to discuss topic 1 first. Okay, Delegates of USA. I will count down. 3, 2, 1. Okay, please raise your hand if you agree to discuss topic 2 first. Delegates of USA, Delegates of Indonesia, Delegates of Brazil, Denmark. Okay. Okay. Please don't lower your hand first. I will count the delegates who raised their hand. Okay, there are 5 participants. Please lower your hand. And please raise your hand if you agree to discuss topic 3 first. Again, please raise your hand if you agree to discuss topic 3 first. I will count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're going to discuss topic 2 first. The topic is, what are possible innovation in the research and development that can reduce the threats of air pollution crisis? Thank you, delegates. For delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. I repeat, for delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. The topic is what are possible innovation in the research and development that can reduce the threat of air pollution crisis. Anyone? Before we begin, I will give five. You can speak for 2 minutes, and after that, the other delegates can refute the arguments of the earlier speaker for 5 minutes, and the delegates who want to speak for the session, please raise your hand.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't hear clearly. Sorry. So sorry.
I'm sorry. For delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. The topic is, as you can see in this share screen, what are possible innovation in the research and development that can reduce the threats of air pollution crisis? For delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. Okay, delegates of USA. Any other delegates want to speak? Okay, delegates of USA, you may have the floor. The floor is yours.
Wait. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First, the government must fully support all research related to renewable energy and low greenhouse emissions. Second, calling and campaigning to be more concerned about air pollution. And third, participating in world-class events in campaigning for environmental care movements, especially air pollution. And finally, replant as many plants as possible or make urban forests. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates. What a wonderful opinion. Is there any delegates who wants to refute the argument or want to add in their opinion to delegates of USA opinion? Akmal, please stop the timer first. Yeah, thank you. Okay, for delegates who want to speak, I repeat, for delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. And please don't be afraid to speak because we're all learning here. Okay, delegates of Vietnam. Delegates of Vietnam.
Okay, thank you. For solve this problem, Vietnam recommends to use more of public transportation and use biofuel. The most effective solution would be to shift a transportation system from road to rivers and
trains, which would reduce emissions of 2000 to 22.8 million tons of carbon dioxide gas by 2013. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Delegates of Vietnam. Is there any delegates who wants to refute or adding to Delegates of Vietnam opinion? Okay. I repeat, please raise your hand if you want to speak for this session. Okay, Delegates of Australia.
Okay. The Australian government is investing in low emission technology to reduce Australia emission. This will make low emission technology cheaper and more widely available. So they become to the smart choice for business and consumers. And second is Australia's long-term emissions reduction plan. It's a wall of economy plan to achieve net zero emission by 2050. And there is the technology investment roadmap plays an important role in our long term to reduce emission. Under the roadmap, a no low emission technology statement identify government and private sector investment priorities down the cost of critical low emission technology. Okay, that's more.
Okay, thank you, Delegates of Australia. Is there any delegates who wants to refute or adding the opinion of Delegates of Australia? Okay, thank you, Delegates. Please raise your hand if you want to speak for this session. Okay, Delegates of Denmark.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to mention the Denmark project that Denmark has approved a plan to build an artificial island 50 miles, of course, in the North Sea. It will act as a clean hub. It will produce and storage wind energy. It will be linked to hundreds of wind turbines to supply power to over than 3 million households, as well to generate green hydrogen for use in shipping, aviation, and industry. The island is expected to generate 3 to 10 gigawatts to supply electricity to other European countries, so it could be a business. However, Denmark also hopes that the green hydrogen produced from the island seawater can be exported outside of Europe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Delegates of Denmark. That was a remarkable speech. Is there any delegates who wants to refute or adding the opinion of Delegate of Denmark? Okay, thank you, Delegates. Please raise your hand if you want to speak for this session. Okay, Delegates of England, United Kingdom.
Okay, thank you. I'm really interested in the smog-eating buildings. Architects and environmental scientists have been teaming up to address an interesting question. Is it possible and economically feasible to design and construct buildings that can passively clean smoggy urban air? As it turns out, relatively straightforward chemical reaction to improve air quality can be triggered with a little help from the sun. The mass-produced styles created by Berlin-based architecture firm Elegant Embellishments are coated with titanium dioxide, a pigment that can act as a catalyst for chemical reaction when it's activated by sunlight. When UV rays hit the tiles, a reaction occurs, converting mononitrogen oxidized, the substance that makes smog smoggy, into less harmful substances such as calcium nitrate and water, along with some not so wonderful carbon dioxide. The titanium dioxide in the tiles doesn't change. It can keep on doing its best indefinitely. Thank you. That's all I need to say.
Okay, thank you, Delegates of England. That was such a beautiful information. Please raise your hand if you want to speak for this session. Okay, delegates of Brazil. Okay, delegates of Brazil, you may speak right now. I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. I think your mic is muted.
Brazil faced the threat of worsening extreme weather. In 2017, about 49% of multiplanes in Brazil experienced drought and 31% experienced flooding. In 2020, torrential rains in southern Brazil caused floods and landslides that left 13,000 people homeless. The rate of deforestation that occurs there invites domestic and international criticism and has the potential of reach a crisis point that threatens rainfall patterns and the country's agricultural sector. It's enough for me.
Okay, thank you, delegates of Brazil. Any other delegates who want to refute or adding to the opinion of delegate of Brazil? Okay, thank you. Please raise your hand if you want to speak for this session. Okay, delegates of Russia and any other delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand now.
Yeah, thank you. Innovation made by Russia is development that can reduce air pollution. Here are some ways. First, Russian way is an introduction of low emission zones. So that this method is effective, there needs to development in alternative form of mobility, including public transport and bicycle infrastructure. Bike rentals have been successfully introduced, and nearly 40 kilometers of bicycle lanes in the city have been created with plans to improve it in the near future. Second is encourage people to use electric vehicles. In Moscow has installed nearly 80 electric vehicle charging stations. This is the way forward for a non-pollution private transportation solution. This method is also continuously developed to reduce pollution and fossil fuels. Third is replacing old Third is replacing old uncatalyzed vehicles with newer and more environmentally sensitive models. Fourth, use of natural refrigerants to change the air conditioner, such as ammonia coolers or propane coolers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates of Russian Federation. Again, please raise your hand if you want to speak for this session. Okay, delegates, you may talk anything you know about this topic. So please don't be afraid to speak in front of us. Is there any other delegates who want to speak for this session? You may speak. You may speak one. You may speak more than one. So if you want to speak again, or if you want to adding your opinion, feel free to do that. Okay, delegates. Any other delegates want to speak for this session? No. Please don't be afraid to speak because we all learning here. So you have to be confident.
Can we ask questions to other delegates?
Yes, yes. You may ask any other delegates a question.
What was it? Delegates of England that has a speech about the architecture?
Yes.
Can you please explain more about it and maybe slower? Thank you.
Okay, wait a minute. Paper. All right. This building was built in Mexico. The architect and environmental scientists have been teaming up to address an interesting question. Is it possible and economically feasible to design and construct buildings that can passively clean smoggy urban air? As it turns out, relatively straightforward. Chemical reaction to improve air quality can be triggered with a little help from the sun. Add some clever design and you're most of the way there. It's already happening in famously smoggy Mexico City, where a hospital building called the Torre de Espellas Dedes is shielded by an eye-catching 100-yard-long facade made with special tiles that have air-scrubbing abilities. The mass-produced tiles created by Berlin-based architecture firm Elegant Embellishments are coated with titanium dioxide, a pigment that can act as a catalyst for chemical reaction when it's activated by sunlight. When UV rays hit the tiles, a reaction occurs, converting mononitrogen oxides, the substance that makes smoke smoggy, into less harmful substances such as calcium nitrate and water, along with some not so wonderful carbon dioxide. The titanium dioxide in the tiles doesn't change. It can keep on doing its thing indefinitely. The architects don't claim to be solving a citywide problem, but their intentions are sincere, and they hope to inspire others to follow their lead. Their modest hope is that the building can counteract the impact of about 1,000 of Mexico City's 5.5 million cars and provide slightly fresher air in the hospital immediate area. Meanwhile, the city of Milan is preparing for a World's Fair this May around the theme of feeding the planet, energy for life as the host country. So if a lot of country built this building, maybe the pollution on the air would be decreased in an amazing amount. Thank you. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, delegates of England, delegate of Denmark. Is that clear?
That is. Thank you very much.
Okay. I repeat again. For delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. Anyone? Okay. Because there is no delegates who wants to speak again, should we just stop this session and move on to the next session, or we should take a break first for 5 minutes and continue with this session? Akmal?
Yeah.
What do you think we're going to do? Because there is no delegates who want to speak for this session.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, guys, I really appreciated you because the moderated caucus session 1, it's working very fine, very
Yeah,
good. Yes,
it's very good.
there is 7 speaker, 1 question and 1 answer, and it's very amazing. So I hope in the moderated caucus session 2, we will have more speaker than now. So yeah, thank you very much, Delegates.
Yeah, thank you very much. You guys giving an awesome speeches. So what are we going to do next? Are we going to have a break or what? Well,
I think break first is because
okay.
there is Zuhur.
Oh, okay. Thank you, delegates. Thank you, delegates, for the awesome speech and wonderful insight that you have given us. Now we're going to have how many times? I think we're going to have a break until 1 p.m. We're going to continue our next sessions after 1 p.m. Please come back in the Zoom at 1 p.m. Thank you, delegates. You may leave the Zoom.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back, delegates. Please open your camera and unmute your audio. We will start after all the delegates have opened their camera. So please open your camera now. Okay, I will start the roll call. Before that, Amal, can you please thank you. Please state if you're present and voting when I call your country name. Delegates of Australia.
Delegates of Australia is present and voting.
Thank you, delegates of Australia. Delegates of Brazil.
Delegates of Brazil is present and voting.
Delegates of China.
Delegate of China is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Denmark. Delegate of Denmark is present and voting. Thank you. Delegates of Egypt.
Delegate of Egypt is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Finland. Delegates of Finland. Delegates of France.
Delegate of France is present and voting.
Okay, thank you. Delegates of Indonesia.
Delegates of Indonesia is present and voting.
Thank you, delegates of Indonesia. Delegates of Italy. Delegates of Italy. Okay. Delegates of Japan.
Delegates of Japan is present and voting.
Thank you very much. Delegates of Russian Federation.
Delegates of Russian Federation is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Saudi Arabia.
Delegates of Saudi Arabia is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of South Africa.
Delegate of South Africa is present and voting.
Thank you, delegates of Africa. Delegates of United Kingdom.
Delegates of the United Kingdom is present and voting.
Delegates of UK. Okay, thank you. Delegates of United States.
Present and vote.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, delegates. Before we begin our moderated caucus session 2, we'll vote for the topics that are going to be discussed for the next 35 minutes. There are 2 topics. The first one is in the midst of economic recovery from COVID-19 pandemic,
how to balance the development with the good air quality. And the second topic is what initiative should, I'm sorry, what is our first topic, Ahmad? I forgot.
What?
Okay, the first topic is in the midst of economic recovery from COVID-19 pandemic, how to balance the development with the good air quality. And the second topic is what initiative should the government adopt to recover clean air disruptness due to this air pollution crisis. Please raise your hand if you agree to discuss topic 1 first. Okay. Please hold your hand. Don't lower it first. I will count down in 3, 2, 1. Thank you, delegates. Please raise your hand if you agree to discuss second topic first. What initiative should the government adopt to recover clean air disruptness to this air pollution crisis? Okay, I will count down in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you, delegates. Now we're going to discuss topic second first, that is what initiative should the government adopt to recover the clean air disruptness due to this air pollution crisis? Thank you, delegates. So for delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. Delegates of Vietnam, you want to speak for this session?
No.
Okay. Sorry. It's okay. It's for delegates who want to speak for this session. Please raise your hand. Akmal, can you write the topics in the agenda, please? Yeah, thank you. Okay, delegates, I repeat again. For delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. Anyone? Any delegates? Come on, delegates, please be brave enough to speak. What's going on in your mind? Because I know you have such wonderful thoughts. Okay, delegates of Italy.
Mulai nih.
Yeah, you may have the floor is yours.
And the initiative of government to recover the clean air disruptness, I think to make negotiation in bulk forest or make some mini park in the middle of the big city or large city that reduce the making air pollution, and maybe can make electric transport or reduce use diesel power. Maybe I think instead enough.
Thank you, delegates of Italy. Any other delegates who wants to refute the argument of delegates of Italy or adding to the opinion? No? Okay. I repeat again. For delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. Okay, delegates of China, delegates of China, delegates of Egypt, delegates of Indonesia. Okay, who is the first one? Okay, the first one is delegates of China. The floor is yours. You may start your speech now.
China is the country with the deadliest air pollution, and the government's initiative is to switch to renewable energy instead of steel or coal, limit industrial output, traffic, and minimize consumption steel. And China attracted 60,000 soldiers to do tree planting in the interior. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates of China. Before we move on, do any other delegates who want to refute the argument of delegate of China? Okay, let's move on to the next speaker, delegates of Egypt.
My opinion on the initiatives the government should take to remedy the clean air disturbance is minimize the use of private vehicles and maximize public transportation such as bus or train to reduce existing air pollution. Maybe just this enough.
Okay, thank you, delegates. But I want to remind you to use this third person. So please don't use me or I. Please use we or delegates of Egypt or delegates of Vietnam, like that. Thank you. Let's move on to the next speaker, delegates of Indonesia.
The delegates of Indonesia, the initiative of the government should adopt is to reduce the usage of private vehicles and invite the people to use public transportation, such as like bus, MRT, or others, and to make a small park that can reduce the pollution of the air. Maybe that's from me.
Okay, thank you, delegates of Indonesia. Any other delegates who want to speak for this session? Please raise your hand.
I'm sorry, Akil, I think your microphone is muted.
I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Delegates of Australia, delegates of USA, delegates of United Kingdom, delegates of France.
Sorry, who's first?
I think Australia first, and delegates of Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Are you done, Akmal?
Yes, yes.
Okay, delegates of Australia, the floor is yours.
Okay. Talking to the question, what initiative should the government adopt to recover the clean air disruptiveness due to this air pollution crisis? Okay. In our country, Australia, The government built an organization. We have the Emission Reduction Fund, or we call it ERF, aims to provide an incentive for a range of organizations and individuals to adopt new practice and technology to reduce their emission and store carbon. And we got Climate Active encourage Australian business to become carbon neutral by awarding Climate Active Carbon Neutral Standard certification. And we have the government is, oh, sorry. And the government should developing a new safeguard crediting mechanism to incentivize industry to further reduce emission. And we have the renewable energy target that we call it RET. Same reduce emission by encouraging more electricity generation from renewable source. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegates of Australia. Before we move on to the next speaker, is there any delegates who want to review the argument of Delegates of Australia or want to add in the opinion? Any delegates? Okay, let's move on to delegates to the next delegates of United States.
Thank you for the honorable chairs. Of course, there will be a lot of research carried out by researchers. One of them is nuclear energy as a solution for sustainable, environmentally friendly energy. Because according to research, nuclear energy is one of the lowest emitters of greenhouse gases, and nuclear energy is very suitable for long-term energy. Nuclear energy meets 6 green energy criteria, namely no emissions, has a small footprint, energy sources do not damage the ecosystem, must pay attention to waste management, are sustainable and affordable. Nuclear energy is considered more efficient in producing energy than other environmentally friendly energy sources. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates of United States. Let's move on to the next speaker, delegates of United Kingdom. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Pollution permits. Pollution permits are a market-based scheme aimed at reducing pollution and trying to encourage firms to reduce the quantity of pollution they create. Permits create a financial incentive to pollute less because you can then sell your excess permits to other firms. In theory, it can be a good way to reduce pollution through the incentives of the market, but in practice, it can be difficult to implement. It is difficult to know how many permits to give out. If the government is too generous, there will be little pollution reduction. If the government is too strict in implementing permits, firms may complain it adversely affects output because they cannot get enough permits. This could harm economic prosperity. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates of England. That is such a good argument. Next, delegates of France. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the time. Quality manage period on traffic type of vehicle concern car pollution and minimum level breathe air for the person. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates of France. Before we move on to the next speaker, Akmal, can you please add delegates of Vietnam to the speaker list? Thank you. Okay, move on. Delegates of Saudi Arabia, the floor is yours.
In our country, Saudi Arabia take the initiative to eliminate air pollution by using car air purifier and air quality monitors. And some environmental action is taking place, such as the contraction of a renewable energy industry. Policies and programs are also being developed to ensure environmental sustainability. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates of Saudi Arabia. Let's move on to the next delegate. Delegates of Vietnam, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. In our city, in our country, policies promoting the use of greener vehicles could reduce air pollution. Phasing out obsolete and polluting vehicles could be encouraged by providing subsidies for trading in old cars, paid for by higher taxes on new vehicles. This would help address distributional effect concerns as owners of old vehicles tend to be from lower income households. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates of Vietnam. I repeat again, please raise your hand if you want to speak for this session. Okay, delegates of Brazil.
As Brazil grapples with the COVID-19 crisis and rising rates of deforestation, some are fighting back to restore their natural environment while honoring the memory that they lost loved ones. Grateful Families and Civil Society Organization, with the support of the Atlantic Forest Bureau Request and the Atlantic Forest Restoration Pact, which includes some of Brazil's most respected restoration science, launched a trade planning with conservation and restoration drive on 12 December 2020 to honor the memories of those who have lost their lives to COVID-19 and to thank health workers. It's enough for us.
Okay, thank you, delegates of Brazil. Let's move on to the next delegates of Japan.
In addition, the children began to get the culture of protecting the environment. The government can also try to use public transportation. They also do this to reduce air pollution and save money because they don't have to pay for vehicle parking. First, they are conditional not to easily own a private vehicle. Second, they have a lot of public transportation to use. The transportation is equipped with various convenient facilities. Third, the local government also coordinates freight forwarding as the access for the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates of Japan. Once again, for any delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. Is there any delegates who want to speak for the session? Okay, delegates of Denmark.
Yeah, thank you. My opinion is that I think it's very important for the government to establish a target from the beginning, like a long-term target, about 10 years or 20 years, like how government of Denmark implements a very ambitious environmental policy in order to phase out the use of fossil fuels. There's an agreement to target a reduction of 70% of gas emission by 2030 and to eliminate 100% of fossil fuels by 2050. And the target needs to be followed by actual effort, like setting a firm target needs effort. Like making it more infrastructure that is for bicycle, so people can use it more, and like more charger station for electric cars, and just making it easy for us so we can contribute to help the government also. That's all from Denmark.
Okay, thank you, Delegates of Denmark. What a fresh idea, a long-term project, like long-term goals. Please raise your hand if there any delegates who wants to speak for the session. Is there any delegates who want to speak for the session? Okay, I want to inform you that you can take a notes throughout the session, throughout the moderator caucus, and you can ask for other delegates if you don't understand something or you want to hear continue more explanation about the opinion that they're presented. So if you want to hear more explanation from other delegates about regarding their opinion, you can ask. Once again, for delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. I really encourage you for speak in every session to understand and have a depth understanding for the topics that we've been discussed. Any other delegates who want to speak again? Or should I just pick someone to speak? Okay, delegates of South Africa, do you have something in your mind or do you want to speak about something?
Yeah.
You can start now.
In Africa, Africa is developing an assessment that describes how the continent can achieve key development goals, provide clean air for its people, and assist the global fight against climate change and ecosystem degradation. The assessment will inform decision making for sustainable economic and social development in Africa and highlight the solution and significant we can benefit of improving air quality for health, agriculture, environment, and forestry. Maybe that's enough.
Okay, thank you so much, Delegate of Africa. Is there any other delegates who want to speak for this session? Oh my God. Okay, if you don't know what you want to discuss, I could give some topics for you. As delegates of Denmark said before, she told us about a long-term project or a long-term goals. Am I right, delegates of Denmark?
Yes.
Okay, so how should we make those long-term goals, and what are the indicators about it? Are you understand what I'm saying? Did you understand? Do you understand? What are the indicators of the long-term projects? What are the indicators of the success for the long-term goals? And how should we make the programs be success? Because there are many programs right now that is currently ongoing. I think you have read it before. There are many programs that the UN is running right now, but there are so much programs that is just been neglected and doesn't run well and doesn't end so good. And what is your conclusion to this matter? So any other delegates want to speak for the topics that I have discussed? Anyone? Okay. Amal, what are we going to do?
Okay, I think for this session enough. I think.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
yeah, this session there is an improvement from the 7 speaker, and now we get 14 speaker for this session, and it's so amazing, ya guys.
Amazing.
Maybe now we break or what?
I think we should give a brief conclusion about the topics that have been discussed earlier.
Sorry.
Okay, you want to speak?
Speaking about the nuclear energy.
Okay,
Who's delegates that say that? Sorry.
wait. Please add the delegates of Australia to the speaker list. Okay, delegates of Australia, you may start now.
Okay. When the delegates talking about nuclear energy, I'm not too prefer about the nuclear energy because when, as you know, the nuclear energy, nuclear energy produce radioactive waste. And time ago in Japan, there is an accident. Yes, there's an accident about nuclear reactor, yes, and in Russia too. So it's too dangerous. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the delegates of Australia stated that nuclear energy have bad side effects. Is there any other delegates who wants to refute their delegates of Australia argument? about the nuclear issues? Anyone? Okay, I will say that is no. There's
I want to review the delegates of Australia about clear.
okay. Thank you, delegates of USA. You may start your speech now.
I think the energy nuclear is might be hazardous for us, but according the research, the nuclear energy is uh, the best solution for sustainable, environmentally friendly energy because there is a lot of the benefit rather than the the hazardous that can nuclear energy. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, delegates of United States. Any other delegates who wants to adding their opinion of delegates of USA or delegates of Australia, maybe? About the nuclear energy, or maybe there any other delegates want to speak for the session? There are 8 minutes left. Okay, Akmal, maybe we should take a break first before we move on to the next session.
Yes.
Could you please give a brief conclusion about?
Okay, Delegates, I have a conclusion from this session. We get some solution for reduce the air pollution crisis and improve the energy in this earth, like with nuclear energy and then renewable environmental energy and others. And I think we can feel this debate starting to develop and starting to live. So keep it up. Legends.
Okay, thank you, delegates. What a wonderful debate. Please submit your conclusion in the link that I share in the chat box. And please submit your conclusion for the earlier moderated caucus, the first moderated caucus. I will share the link in the chat box and in the WhatsApp group. So please submit it and fill it. And thank you, delegates. Now we're going to have a 10-minute break. We'll continue our next session after the break. Okay, delegates, so thank you for coming back. Please, for those who have not turned on their camera yet, please turn on your camera right now. I will start the roll call. Akmal, can you please share the screen?
Wait.
Okay. Okay. Please state if you're present and voting when I call your country name. Delegates of Australia. Delegates of Australia, are you there? No, let's move on. Delegates of Brazil.
Delegates of Brazil is 49 and 40.
Thank you, delegates of Brazil. Delegates of China.
Delegate of China is present and voting.
Thank you, delegates. Delegates of Denmark.
Delegates of Denmark is present and voting.
Thank you very much. Delegates of Egypt.
Delegates of Egypt is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Finland.
Delegate of Finland is present and voting.
Thank you, delegates of Finland. Delegates of France.
Delegates of France is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Indonesia.
Delegates of Indonesia is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Italy.
Present and voting.
Delegates of Japan.
Delegates of Japan is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Russian Federation.
Delegate of Russian Federation is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Saudi Arabia.
Delegates of Saudi Arabia is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of South Africa.
So the delegate of South Africa is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of United Kingdom.
The delegates of the United Kingdom is present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of United States.
Present and voting.
Thank you. Delegates of Vietnam.
Delegate of Vietnam present and voting.
Thank you very much, delegates. So before we begin, we're not going to voting anymore because this is our last topic. Yay! So the topic we are going to be discussed in this session is in the midst of economic recovery from COVID-19 pandemic, how to balance the development with the good air quality. So I hope in this session, all the delegates can be active and we can have a good debate. And for delegates who wants to speak for the session, please raise your hand now. Okay, delegates of USA, we are going to list the delegates first, so please raise your hand now. Delegate of USA. Okay, any other delegates who want to speak for this session? Please raise your hands now. Anyone? Okay, I think the other delegates still want to prepare. So delegates of USA, you can start your speech now.
Thank you for the honorable chairs. The economic recovery in the midst of a pandemic is very important, but we should also pay attention to air pollution that may increase along with the economic recovery. Either because more and more people are out to move or factories are starting to reopen. To deal with it, it's better to use more public transportation than private vehicles and for factories to start observing environmentally friendly energy, planting more urban forests, which helps absorb various emission gases that can damage the ozone layer. Because this economic recovery must be proportional to freedom for air pollution to achieve perfect happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, delegates of USA. That's such a wonderful speech. Is there any delegates who wants to refute the argument of delegates of USA or adding to the opinion? Okay, let's move on to the next speaker. Once again, to any delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. Okay, delegates of Indonesia. Delegates of Indonesia. Wait a minute. Okay, delegates of Indonesia, you can start your speeches now.
Economic recovery must be balanced with the good air quality. After the COVID pandemic, the factories and business is reopened, and it will create another air pollution. To balance that, we need to look to the environment protocol, making the factory more environment or making a vertical forest to save more lands for the people. Maybe that's from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Delegate of Indonesia. Is there any delegates who want to refute the argument? No? Okay, thank you. Once again, please raise your hand if you want to speak for this session. Any other delegates who want to speak for the session, please? Okay, is there any delegates who want to speak for this session? Okay, delegates of Denmark.
Thank you. So more than 60% of Denmark land is used for agriculture. The agro industry in Denmark has developed many climate solutions to support food production. Residues from food are recycled into biogas to produce renewable energy. Most of the biomass comes from agriculture in the form of straw, manure, energy crops, animal byproducts, and all other forms of food waste. So it is possible to make a consistent economic growth while reducing energy consumption and protecting the environment. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's a good statement. Any other delegates want to refute or adding the opinion? No? Okay. For any delegates who want to speak for the session, just please raise your hand and I will add you to the speaker list. Okay, delegates of Brazil.
Thank you. First, we can use low carbon development Low carbon development is development policy whose program and implementation result in economic growth with low greenhouse gas emissions. Development is this way is a form of tackling climate change, improving environmental quality, and achieving the sustainable development goals. Low carbon development is one of the priorities in 2020 until 2024 National Midterm Development Plan. In addition to cheap fossil energy price, another low carbon development challenge is environmental issues become a priority issue. But at the central regional levels, in the context of post-COVID-19 economic recovery. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, delegates of Brazil. Please, for delegates who want to speak for this session, please raise your hand. Okay, delegates of China.
Okay, for post-pandemic economic recovery, development will always continue from time to time, and for the good, we will make sure the smoke of development will go through a filter so that the smoke doesn't or we will minimize the cause of the smoke from development.
sorry, delegates of China, you have been muted, so please unmute again. Are you done? Are you done with your speech?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other delegates want to speak? Please raise your hand. Raise your hand, please. Just be courageous. I know you can do it, guys. Okay, thank you. Delegates of Australia. Delegates of Australia.
Okay. In this pandemic, the government struggled to doing some lockdown and close the public place or school and including the industries too. After the pandemic, like, and the government doing some leeway to the public there, and the industries that that already bankrupt doing some increase of production and starting to input on income. So sorry, the industries are using power plant with like coal. I think the government should make more use of renewable energy and reduce the taxes of the factory that using the renewable energy for their power plant. Thank you.
Okay, good solution. Part of taxes. Any other delegates want to speak for the session? Or okay, Delegate of England.
Thank you. Buy local products and sell local produce. Shopping local means that the food had to travel less to where you are, thus decreasing transport emissions. Aside from the environmental benefits, you gain control over what you eat by knowing where the food comes from and how it was produced. You can also feel good about supporting local businesses. Products made close to home are usually highlighted on the packaging at your local supermarket. You're also able to find them by connecting with your community at your resident farmers market. So the emission will decrease, and also you it will decrease air pollution, because you just need to walk from where you are, but the economy will keep growing. Thank you.
What a great solution, cutting off emission by supporting our local farmers. Okay, is there any other delegates want to speak for the session? Is there any other delegates who want to? Okay, delegates of Russia.
Okay, thank you. The unemployment rate in Russia fell from 6.4% to 5.4% during COVID-19. This is because Russia makes up most of the jobs created in the informal sector. The informal sector is work in the form of distribution. This work can be done at home by just sending a few people as couriers. This work also creates job opportunities for people who doesn't have a job. During the lockdown, digitalization activity were continuously increased. This allowed Russian society to operate effectively during the lockdown. Here we can know the benefits of informal sector job and increasing digitalization for air health. That is reducing the number of vehicles on the street so that vehicle emissions that cause pollution are drastically reduced. However, with the COVID-19 case, the number of vehicles on the road has decreased drastically. The existence of COVID-19 also reduced the disposal of waste from industry. This happens because many industrial employees are removed from the company, so that activity in the industry declined. Russia also used general method orders such as food delivery via application, online shop, and similar, so that restaurants don't have to close their shop and other sellers can still do their business. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates of Russian Federation. Is there any delegates who want to speak for this session? Please raise your hand. Come on, guys. I know you want to speak. Just be courageous. Okay, delegates of Japan.
Thank you. With the development of modern international progress, the world without destroying the environment and natural resource management system that makes a major and
I'm
effective.
sorry, delegates of Japan. Can you speak more louder, or can you move closer to the microphone, please?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
To build without destroying the environment and natural resource management system that make a major and effective contribution to achieving a sustainable development process. It must begin with an impact analysis process and involve the active participation of the community in the decision-making process in the development. Therefore, various policy recommendation or decision in formulating the development directions must involve socio-economic and environmental experts, and further forest management in order to improve internal factors and create a supportive external atmosphere. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, delegates of Japan. Next speaker who wants to speak for the session? Delegates, come on. Any other delegates who want to speak for this session? Please just raise your hand, or you just can unmute and say, I want to speak. Okay, delegates of China, you may repeat your argument again.
Okay, for post-pandemic economic recovery, development will always continue from time to time, and for the good, we will make sure the smoke of development will go through a filter so that the smoke doesn't become air pollution, or we will minimize the cause of the smoke from development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other delegates who want to speak for the session? Please just don't be afraid and just speak. We're not going to judge you. Delegates of Delegates of Egypt. Do you want to do a little speech? Do you want to talk about anything? No? Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, Delegates of Vietnam.
Okay, thank you. We need to invest more in skills and innovation. Relatively few recovery measures focus on skill training and on innovation in green technologies. This also represents a missed opportunity, as more attention to measures that can drive green job creation, notably to compensate for job losses in other industries, can help to ensure a just transition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Delegates of Vietnam. Any other delegates who want to speak for this session? Delegates of Saudi Arabia, are you there? Do you want to speak for this session? No? Okay. For those delegates who want to speak for this session or maybe wants to speak again, I feel free to speak again because we have 16 minutes left. There's plenty time. Okay, Delegates of Italy.
Thank you. In our opinion, some people, when they quarantine in their house, there is a new habit. And the new habit is people love to plant a tree or something green. And I think when all over the country plant a new tree, and it make reduce the air pollution and increase the good air quality. I think this is enough.
Okay, thank you, Delegates of Italy. Any other delegates who want to speak for this session? I want to remind all of the delegates that you can agree or you can disagree with other delegates' opinion, and you can adding to opinion maybe like, oh, I agree with the arguments of delegate of Denmark, and I think that we should done this or this or this. So you don't have to make your own speeches. You can just add to another delegate speeches. So just feel free to speak and don't be afraid. We won't be judging you or something. So please raise your hand if you want to speak for the session. Okay, I think there's no one who wants to speak again for this session. So Akmal, what are we going to do with this situation?
I think delegates of USA want to speak again.
Okay, delegates of USA, do you want to speak again?
No.
No? Okay,
Oh,
delegates
no.
of
Okay,
USA
thank you very
doesn't
much.
want to speak again.
Thank you very much, delegates. Or maybe delegate of delegate of I think delegate of United Kingdom want to speak again.
Delegates of United Kingdom, do you want to speak again?
No, I have nothing to say.
Okay. Or maybe we should change the topic. How do you think about that, Akmal?
Yes, that's a good idea.
Okay. We're going to change the topics. The topic is air pollution. So you can just speak anything you know about air pollution, anything you have been preparing for. So just you can speak about anything as long as it is related to the air pollution topic. So for the 11-minute time that we have, feel free to speak your opinion regarding air pollution. Either it's from your country's perspective or maybe another country perspective, or maybe the regulations. Okay.
Come on, delegates, it's your last chance to say
So this
in
is
this
the last
session.
section. Come on. Any other delegates who want to speak? I think delegates of Denmark, do you want to speak anything about the air pollution topic? Do you have anything to say, something? Okay, I just got a message from one delegates. Oh, delegates of Egypt wants to give his opinion. Okay, thank you, delegates of Egypt. You may start yours.
Okay, thank you. I will start. The World Health Organization also announced a list of countries with the worst pollution levels, which means they are also countries with the worst living environment in the world. One of them is Egypt. Egypt is one of the countries with the worst pollution levels, as the smoke that often occurs in Egypt shows why Egypt is ranked fifth for the the World Health Organization's highest air pollution version. Environmental experts even rank Egypt as the most polluted country in the world and the country with the worst living environment in the world, because the noise never stops even when it's midnight. Air pollution in Cairo is a matter of serious concern. Air pollution in downtown Cairo is more than 10 to 100 times the accepted world standard. Cairo has a bad factor due to lack of rain and the layout of tall buildings and narrow streets, which creates a creating effect, poor ventilation and detrimental trapping of pollutants. The main air pollution problem in Egypt is particulate matter, source of dust and small particles that arise the transportation industry and incinerations of waste in the open air. Another important dust source is wind blowing from dry areas around Egypt. The air in Egypt was thick, gray, and there was fog over Cairo. Furthermore, another form of air is carbon monoxide in the streets due to excess car exhaust and pollutants. Okay, thank you. That's enough.
Okay, thank you very much, delegates of Egypt. Before we move on, if there are any other delegates, there is a delegate who sent me a private message. I think we should discuss, not giving an opinion, not individual, but together. Can we? Yes, we can. So, should we discuss? What are we going to be discuss? What are we going to discuss? Is there any topic that you want to discuss together? You can propose any topics that you want to discuss, or maybe you don't understand and want to know more about that topics.
Can we discuss about the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the environment?
Okay. Do you want to add in more the impact of COVID-19 to the environment? Is that right? Okay, thank you. The impact of COVID-19 in the environment. I think that is to the environment. Duration. Okay, thank you. Before we begin, do any delegates have an opinion about the impact of COVID-19 in the environment? Maybe delegates of Australia want to speak? Okay, delegates of Denmark. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So to the air pollution, the COVID-19 actually has a quite positive impact because we are locked down at our homes. We don't use our vehicle often, so it reduces the gas emission that release to our environment. But I think it has a bad impact because it has a lot of trash that comes with it, like masks. There's going to be a huge number, a huge increase of trash, plastic trash, mass trash, sanitizer, and all of that. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, from what I understand, do you mean the COVID-19 is like bring a positive impact to the air quality but bring a side effect because of its trash? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so any other delegates have an opinion about this issue, maybe? The impact of COVID-19 in the environment. Come on, guys, the clock is ticking. Delegate of USA, do you have any opinion about this issue?
Later, maybe.
Okay. Okay, delegates of Brazil.
Yes, thank you. First, at the beginning of 2020, Brazil had 12 employment, 12% employment, 5% hidden employment due to this government, 14 informality, and rapidly rising inequality. For the bottom half of the social pyramid, the 2015 crisis never ends. Since then, the poorest population has experienced income losses every year. Target transfer programs have no con- countercyclical countercyclical effect. The domestic budget cuts in the Bolsa Familia program have resulted in a drop in the number of beneficiaries as well as in the average amount transferred. This has led to an increase in the queue for entry to the program. To a large extent, the presence of poverty results from the dismantling of social policy after 2015. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegates of Brazil. Iman, can you please stop the timer first? Okay, any other delegates who want to speak for the last 5 minutes? It's literally the last 5 minutes, guys. So please, just brave enough to speak. Be brave enough to speak your opinion. Okay, delegates of France, maybe, do you want to speak? No? Okay. Just maybe start the timer again. Okay, delegates, I want to remind you to fill in the conclusion notes in the link that I share in the chat box. And for those who want to speak for the last time, please just raise your hand. Okay, delegates of Denmark.
Yeah, thank you. This is about the nuclear energy again. So,
okay. You may.
As far as my research, Denmark has already tried it. Like about 1970, we tried to use nuclear energy, and there's a lot of difficulty occur, a lot of side effects. And in 1990, we decided to change from nuclear energy to another set of renewable energy using wind power. And it's proved to be efficient because since the mid 1990s, the levels of greenhouse gas emission it has decreased by about 20% in Denmark. And we're looking forward to reduction of 70% by about 2030. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you, delegates of Denmark. We're all hoping for the decreasing of the air pollution. Delegates of Brazil, do you want to speak again? No. Okay. Delegates of Australia, you may start your speeches now.
Yes, I just want to add that the delegates of Denmark said that the COVID-19 negative impact. Now, I want to add the positive impact of it. Okay. As you know, the pandemic is also reduce the noise pollution. Usually, noise negatively affect on psychological health, along with cardiovascular disorder, hypertension, and sleep shortness of human. And okay.
Okay, thank you, Delegates of Australia. Any other delegates who want to speak? I think one more delegates. Okay, Delegates of Vietnam.
Okay, thank you, Jane. I agree with the opinion of Denmark at the beginning, but I think we have one positive impact like working from home and studying from home, which automatically reduces the burden of transportation on the road. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Delegate of Vietnam. I think we can add one more delegates. If there are anyone who want to speak, there's still 1 minute time. Any delegates want to speak? Okay, maybe we should prepare for the conclusion, Akmal.
Wait, Delegate of China.
Okay, Delegate of China. Delegate of China.
Okay. Effect of COVID-19 virus makes air pollution less because most of the fabrics stop working, but it makes the economy slow down.
Are you done? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Delegate of China. And I think that is our last speaker for this session. So delegates, we congratulations for all of you because you have finished the last session of the Model International Conference 2022. And maybe Ahmad want to say something or make a conclusion about the debate.
Okay, delegates, our beloved delegates. Okay, I'm so proud of you all because this is our first MIC and you also active in this MIC and it's amazing. So yes, maybe if in the next MIC you can be more apa ya? More do your best. Keep it up,
Fearless.
guys. Keep it, guys.
Keep it the spirit, guys. I hope you guys can get a good experience for the event, for this event. Thank you for joining this event enthusiastically. I don't know what to say anymore. And don't forget to submit your conclusion in the link that I share in the chat box and in the group, in the WhatsApp group. Wait a minute, let me share the link first.
We not take foto-foto.
Okay, okay. Can you screenshot it for us, Akmal? Stop the screen sharing first. Maybe?
Yes, yes. My laptop cannot.
Okay, okay.
Cannot
Let
do
me.
screenshot, guys.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can do the screenshot. Maybe.
Okay,
There
guys.
are 2 pages.
Let's pick the sweetie smile.
Okay. Just please hold your smile until I say it. So it's okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Again.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, guys.
Guys.
Okay,
Thank you.
delegates. For last, we have finished our last session, and you have 3 hours to make a conclusion paper that includes all of the topics that we have discussed earlier. And please submit the conclusion paper before 7 p.m. in the link provided in the group and in the chat box. And you can leave the Zoom right now, but don't forget to attend the closing ceremony at 8 p.m. Okay, thank you, delegates.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, delegates. Goodbye.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.